Hi, welcome to Piano with Georgia. I'm Georgia, and in today's video, lesson 1, we are going to get started with how to sit, basics of hands, and introduction to the piano itself. So hop on your bench and let's get started. First thing we want to talk about in getting organized is our posture, or how we sit at the piano. There are 3 key factors to consider. One of them is where you position your body on your chair or bench. The other one is how high your chair or bench is in relationship to the piano keyboard itself. The third factor is how far away you sit from the keyboard. So let's dive in and give you some things to think about that will really help you get these 3 factors in perfect balance. First thing you want to think about is where you actually sit with your body placement on the bench or chair. You want to imagine sitting a bit farther forward than you normally do. We're not here to lounge, we're here to play an instrument. Let me turn sideways so you can get the feel for that. I'm on the front edge, not so close that I feel like I'm going to slide off and fall on the floor, but close enough that I feel like my body weight can shift to my feet. I can shift my body weight to the sides, and I don't feel off balance when I do this moving around. We are setting you up to play advanced repertoire later on. We want this foundation to be just right from day one. Next thing you want to consider is how high. If you can adjust your bench, great. If you can't, don't worry. A lot of digital pianos, you can even adjust the keyboard. It's the way they work together that matters most. You can even use household objects. Like, I'm a relatively short person, so I sometimes sit on books when I'm playing on a piano that is not my home piano. Books are awesome in many ways. Think about your forearm. This is going to be your guide for this particular aspect of how you sit. Your forearm should be basically level or possibly slightly downhill. Honestly, it's better to sit a little bit too high than it is to sit too low. And so again, this downhill slight angle to the forearm. If you're at a very steep angle, I'm too high. If I'm like at an upward angle like this, I am too low because I have a steep incline there. All about being comfortable and setting you up for later. When you're playing advanced music, you want to build this perfect foundation so that your body moves very comfortably. Now, element number 3, how far do I sit from the keyboard itself? Your elbow is probably going to be what you're going to watch. When I'm sitting perfectly, my elbow is just a tiny bit in front of my torso. Almost even with my torso, but a little bit in front. It's better to err on the side of sitting a little too far than it is to sit too close. If you feel like Frankenstein, you're sitting too far away. If you feel like a T-Rex, you're sitting too close. You want to be just nice. You might even run your hands across your keys like so, just giving you that test of mobility. And if it feels good, it is good. Again, 3 elements of posture: where you position your body on your chair or your bench, how high you position your chair or bench related to the piano keyboard itself, and then finally, how far you position your bench from the piano. You may want to get in the habit of adjusting these 3 things every single time you sit down to practice so you consciously think about it. Now that we've talked about your posture, let's talk about your hands. Your hands are your interface with the instrument. There are 2 things we need to think about with your hands: the shape of your hands and the numbers of your fingers. First, how to hold your hands. The number 1 most important word you'll ever hear me say about piano technique, hands included, is relax. Here's an exercise that's going to help you get the exact right hand shape. So first, shake your hands at your sides And then lift your hands up to the piano. Do that again. Shake your hands and arms at your sides. And now lift them up to the piano. Lift them up to the piano. Now one more time. Shake them at your sides. Lift them up. This time, I want you to stop and really look at your hand, and I want you to notice a few things. First thing I want you to notice, there's some room underneath your palm here. That's what we want. You'll also notice your thumb is laying more on its side, not so much on a tip like the other fingers. The other fingers, they are laying a little bit closer to the fingertip, but not on the fingertip, not totally flat on the finger pad. Notice if I flatten out my hand position, my thumb can no longer reach the piano. This is a great finger. We don't want to leave it out. So bring that curve back to your hand, and your thumb can reach. All these fingers that are very different lengths can now touch the keys at the same time. This flat surface combined with a hand that has different lengths of fingers is an interesting challenge, and you're going to overcome it by simply relaxing your hand and flopping it on the piano. Now, let's talk about finger numbers. This is about an organizational system so that we can communicate about what finger we want where, when. Put your hands together like this. Start with your thumbs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That's how the finger numbers work. Now to practice automating that knowledge, we're first going to just keep your hands together and just do this as many times as you can every day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When that's preposterously easy, which won't take you long, believe me, you're going to get this quick. Start to mix them up. Wiggle finger 1, wiggle finger 4, wiggle finger 5, wiggle finger 2, wiggle finger 4. You can tap them also if this is more comfortable for your hands. If this wiggling may cause some muscle strain, don't worry, just be comfy. This is about finger numbers, not any hardcore exercise we're trying to do with your hands. Next level, once that becomes very easy, separate your hands like this. The most common mistake with finger numbers is to try to go from left to right in this motion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, instead of remembering that they're the same finger types. So 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5. This usually causes brains to take a pause and make more mistakes. So just start practicing this way once the other way, hands together, becomes easy. Now mix up your numbers. 1s, 4s, 2s, 5s, 3s. Do this every day as many times as you can, anytime, anywhere. You don't even have to be at the piano. And now let's talk about navigating on the piano itself. As you look at the piano, you'll notice your white keys and you'll notice your black keys. The white keys actually don't look very different from each other at all. We're going to ignore them for the moment, and we're going to talk about the black keys. As you look at the black keys on the piano, you're going to notice there are groupings of 2 and there are groupings of 3. So what I want you to do right now is I just want you to look at your piano, and I want you to find a group of 2 and just kind of play it. Group of 3, kind of play it. Group of 2, play it. Group of 3, play it. A great exercise that you can do to get yourself really comfortable with these groups of 2 and groups of 3, as well as start to engage other things that you've learned already, like staying relaxed and also using different finger numbers on your hand, is to go across the entire piano and play all of your groups of 2, play all of your groups of 3. Now on your piano or keyboard, you may not have as many of the groupings of the 2s and 3s as I have. Totally fine. The way you move is what really, really is significant here. Aiming with your eyes and then moving with your hands. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up my left hand, fingers 2 and 3 on the group of 2. I'm going to relax my hand, get that motion of comfortable, bouncing, no tension in my hand whatsoever. I'm going to let gravity help me, and I'm going to fall and play. Fall and play. Then I look at the next group of 2 with my eyes, and I move my hand after I've already aimed. So now I play, I aim, my move. And you can continue that pattern going forward. Play, aim with your eyes, move with your hand. I'm going to trade to my right hand. I'm going to play, I'm going to aim with my eyes, and then I'm going to move. Play, aim with your eyes, move with your hand. Keeping a very relaxed motion from your whole arm as you do this. Next, you're going to want to do the grouping of threes. I would recommend fingers 2, 3, and 4, just because they're the longest fingers on your hand. So, same exact exercise. Let's do this one together. 1, 2, here we go. Play, aim, move. 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 And last one. There's a couple quick ways you can challenge yourself. You can go a bit faster. You could try to make your left hand go all the way to the right of the instrument. That challenges you in that you have to maneuver your upper body so that your left hand can reach those high notes, or vice versa, your right hand can reach the low notes. You can additionally challenge yourself by using different fingers. Maybe you use fingers 1 and 2 for the groups of 2. Maybe you use 4 and 5. That will be the most challenging finger combinations you can go for. There you go. Navigating on the piano keyboard. One other thing before we go to our final topic of today, which is making music, and that is your pedal. If you're on a digital piano or keyboard, you may not have a pedal. Look on the back of your instrument where you can put a pedal in. If it has one of those, go to your local music store, Amazon, and get a pedal because it's super cool. Now, if you're on a piano and you look down at the floor, you may have 2 pedals, you may have 3 pedals. The one we want is the one that's the farthest to the right, and we're going to use your right foot to use it. Now, the pedal is a sound effect, and it's just really cool, super cool. So I want you to start using it from day one. However, there is a whole lot of nuance that goes into pedaling, but we're not going to talk about that today. I just simply want to talk about where to place your foot, and we're just going to think of it more like an on-off switch. Later, we'll get much more detailed. But for now, what you want to do is you want to plant your heel on the floor, like so, and you're going to use the front part of your foot to operate the pedal. And that's all there is to it. You might test it with a few ups and downs just to feel it moving. If you're on an acoustic piano, like I am, you're going to feel the weight of mechanisms working and levers working together inside the piano. And this is so cool, really cool, super cool technology that goes into making beautiful music. It's just quite amazing. And now this is my favorite part of every lesson, making music, your music, because believe it or not, I promise it is in there. Here are a few ideas. First, play only the black keys right now. Get really comfortable with the groupings of 2, groupings of 3. Stay relaxed and explore. Listen to your sounds. Notice if you create things you like. Notice if you create things you don't like. Notice if you create sounds that are louder or softer. What do you hear? Notice it. And maybe even try to think about what you did to create that sound. First idea I have for you. Left hand. Hop up here somewhere down on the left-hand side, wherever it feels comfortable, and play a single note. Right hand, dance. Play some other notes. Don't make your fingers complicated. Use only finger 2 if you like. Dance around. Notice what happens. Second idea, don't let right hand have all the fun. Let left hand do the dancing. Right hand, play a single note and hold it. Left hand, hop around. Zigzag around, go down to your left, come up to your right. If you want something a little more interesting, maybe you play 2 sounds at one hand and the other hand simply plays different sounds. zigging and zagging, left to right, just explore. Another idea is to put your pedal down, just like we talked about, and notice how that changes things. I'm gonna let my left hand play a couple of notes. My right hand, I'm gonna keep it simple, and I'm just gonna repeat a pattern. I'm gonna make it louder, I'm gonna make it softer. Just exploring. Maybe I go higher. If that seems very, very easy, play more things simultaneously. Playing hands together is way harder than playing hands one right after the other or by itself completely. Maybe left hand comes up with a little rolling pattern and right hand plays. Now this is much harder. So if you try this and you start feeling frustrated, back it off. Play around as long as you have time for and listen. One piece of advice that another teacher gave to me about when you first start improvising, set a timer for 2 minutes. Probably the first 30 seconds or so, you're just gonna feel awkward about improvising and you're gonna feel like, I don't know how to improvise, why am I doing this? That will sort of go away after about 30 seconds, and then the good stuff starts to happen. So take your time, set a timer if you need to, keep playing.
Keep playing.
And you will start to make more discoveries. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me. If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe so we can bring more free piano to everyone who's interested.